Hi everybody, thanks for watching Access Hockey. MI as always. It's great to see you on the other side of the screen that I can't see you. You look great.
You are looking so good today.
Today we're going to talk about a defenseman that I don't think is talked about enough, and that's partly our fault because we haven't talked about him enough either.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're so sorry, but today we're going to fix that. We're going to talk about Jared McIsaac, who was drafted in 2018, 36th overall by the Detroit Red Wings, and he's making his way up, and he's going to be on your front door soon.
Maybe not.
Hockey.
I sure hope not. It'd be a little weird if he knew where everyone
Let us know if he does. That'd be cool.
Get his autograph.
But yeah, we're going to talk about Jared McIsaac today, kind of where he was at last year. He did suffer a shoulder injury, so we'll talk about that and where we think he's going to be going.
Fantastic. So he has just come out of the QMJHL. He spent almost his entire career with the Halifax Mooseheads, which is a very good developmental team. Very good. Everyone in the Q seems to be really
Philip
good.
Zadina also played with them.
There we go. But in 3 games, he had 2 points. Now, he only had 3 games because they traded him for some reason. I cannot find why.
I was going to say, we don't know. Yeah.
But they sent him off to the Moncton Wildcats. If I butchered that, I am so sorry.
We're really, really American.
I keep wanting to say wonton. I don't know why. But in 25 games played with them last season, he had 17 points. Now, mind you, he's a defenseman. So that was obviously, him transitioning from his primary team and getting traded didn't really seem to affect him.
I was just going to say, usually that would affect you.
Yeah, and I had read some scouting reports that said he had played his best hockey at that point, which is really encouraging. And then he went off to the World Junior Championship for the U20s and won gold with Canada, where he had 4 points in 7 games. So this kid knows how to shoot.
So this was just last year he won with Canada. So that would be the Lafreniere team. That would be when Joe Veleno was playing as well. Won the World Junior Championship gold. So that's super great. And he was getting really touted in that game or in that series as well, just because he is a very skilled defenseman. And he says it himself that his asset is he's a defenseman first, but he's also able to join the rush, where if you watch any footage of him, you can tell he can take a shot, and he usually gets it in
too.
And it's usually a really crazy angle shot too, that you're like, what? How'd that get in? And I'm sure the goalie thinks that too. But it's super great to see that, and I feel like his confidence is a huge asset to him as well, because we just talked about Dennis Cholowski last week, who I'm sure is confident, but that's not what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say is we think that Jared McIsaac is super motivated and he's super confident, and nothing seems to slow this guy down. He had a shoulder injury, which he's now getting stronger and better from, and it didn't seem to affect his play at all.
Not even the mental side of things too, and something like that, especially because it happened shortly after, because in 2018 when he was drafted, he went to development camp, he went to the tournament in Traverse City, he was unable to play because of that injury. So you would think something like that, especially your draft year, would really get to your mind, and it seemed like after that, it was almost more of a motivating factor. Like, I have to get healthy, I have to be better because I'm a draftee and I have to do this. This is what I want to do. And it doesn't seem like, he allowed himself to really let that get on him, which is great. And in 2 years' time, he's gotten bigger. You watch footage from 2 years ago when he was just a kid, and now he's 20 years old, which is still pretty young, but he has put on a lot of weight, and he's got a big frame to build on. He's 6'1", so that's something that is really good for him, and his upper body does look very strong, and it looks like he's doing what he has to do to make sure he can measure up to the level he's going to be at.
When asked in an interview if it had affected his motivation at all, he said it hadn't at all. And I think that speaks to his work ethic, which is kind of something that we touched on with Dennis Cholowski last week, and I'm talking in tandem because he's a defenseman that's going to take a spot of whoever is not going to make it to the Red Wings roster, and I think that he has a very good chance if he can make a really good season with the Griffins. Now, we don't know. There's no data that we're able to find of where he is going, where he's committed to. He's not a college commit. He doesn't have anything on Elite Prospects for being with the Griffins yet or with the Red Wings yet. So we're thinking he's going to be Griffins because we haven't seen, and he did sign an entry-level contract in 2018 with the AHL, but has since his shoulder injury and everything.
Well, the entry-level too, I think that's something they were almost trying to preempt and maybe like prorating it, if you will, to start once he was done with juniors, because juniors he was doing great. And that is important development. Even with this bizarre off season that we've had, I think that's something that he knows this summer is going to be big for him, and I think that entry level is going to start hopefully when the season starts, whenever that is. So there's a good chance you could be seeing him in Grand Rapids, or maybe even in Detroit to start.
And we just don't want you blindsided, because he's a fantastic defenseman that hasn't gotten enough credit, I don't think. And one thing that he also sees as a confidence boost is his skating ability. So he's a very strong skater. He's a defenseman first. He can join the rush later, and he's very good at playmaking, getting that first pass off to make that good play. And I think he's just going to be a fantastic asset.
Well, that skating plays a big part in it too. So obviously being a defenseman, you're kind of hanging back a little bit sometimes. But if he can, do that defenseman first mentality, but be able to keep up with the rush and join the rush,
a little bit like Moritz Seider, because I feel like that's how Moritz Seider plays as well. He's a defenseman first, but he can also join in a rush, and he can make those great plays, goes behind the net, all that jazz.
And Coach Blashill just recently, actually in an interview in March, he had said that with McIsaac, he's a big minutes guy. You're going to see him pumping out a ton of minutes, a lot of special team time, which is exactly what we need.
Which kind of speaks to him being a workhorse.
Right.
That's great.
Right. You can rely on him.
Yeah, we need more reliable workhorse defensemen, because we've got, of course, on the Griffins right now, we've got the veterans like Brian Lashoff, and now Joe Hicketts will be a veteran come this coming season. And so we need workhorses who are going to work up to being a Red Wings workhorse, where they're going to be a reliable second, third, maybe I would think second string defenseman.
I would think
like as he gonna say as he develops, of course, and I don't know where they put things.
He plays a big game though too. I just love his skating. He is really good at it, and I like the presence on the ice too, where you're not going to get pushed around. And
he's big into hitting, and that's something that
everyone's going to love that.
Hit somebody. But so Jared McIsaac is someone that we're super excited to see come up in the ranks, and I'm excited to see him develop and be at the Detroit development camp that they're going to have at Little Caesars Arena this year. That's going to be super exciting. They usually broadcast those on YouTube, so hopefully they're going to have that again so we can all watch him be great.
We can all be happy again.
Let us know if you have been keeping up on him and what you think of him and his chances for the Griffins, for the Red Wings, and
if
where
you've
you'd
had
like
a
to see him.
chance to watch him in his juniors, like in person, what do you think about him?
That'd be great.
I know.
I wish I could teleport to all these places and
wish I could be in all of them.
That would be fantastic.
We'd be very busy.
We already are. That's okay. We will talk to you guys next week, and make sure to let us know in the comments what you think about Jared McIsaac and where you see him in the future.
Subscribe, tell your friends we're awesome.
Oh yeah, because we are. So we'll see you next time. Bye guys.